Most asked Python interview questions. What are the basic data types in Python? The basic data types in Python are: integer represents whole numbers, float represents decimal numbers, string represents a sequence of characters, boolean represents either true or false, list represents an ordered collection of elements. How do you convert a string to an integer in Python? You can use the int function to convert a string to an integer. How do you check the data type of a variable in Python? You can use the type function to check the data type of a variable. What is the difference between a list and a tuple in Python? A list is mutable, which means you can modify its elements, while a tuple is immutable, meaning its elements cannot be changed after creation. How do you create an empty dictionary in Python? You can create an empty dictionary using either the curly braces or the dict function. What is OOPS and how is it implemented in Python? Object-oriented programming, OOPS, is a programming paradigm that uses objects to represent real-world entities. In Python, OOPS is implemented through classes and objects. Classes are blueprints for creating objects, and objects are instances of a class. What are the 4 principles of OOPS? The 4 principles of OOPS are: encapsulation, bundling of data and methods that operate on that data within a single unit, class. Inheritance, ability of a class to inherit properties and methods from its parent class. Polymorphism, ability of an object to take on different forms or behaviors based on the context. Abstraction, representing essential features and hiding unnecessary details to simplify the complexity. What is the difference between a class method and an instance method in Python? A class method is a method bound to the class and not the instance of the class. It is defined using the @class method decorator and can access only class-level variables. On the other hand, an instance method is bound to the instance of the class and can access both instance and class-level variables. How do you concatenate 2 strings in Python? You can concatenate 2 strings using the plus operator. How do you find the length of a string in Python? You can use the lay function to find the length of a string. How do you convert a string to uppercase in Python? You can use the upper method to convert a string to uppercase. How do you split a string into a list of substrings in Python? You can use the split method to split a string into a list of substrings based on a delimiter. How do you check if a string contains a specific substring in Python? You can use the in keyword to check if a substring is present in a string. What are control statements in Python? Control statements are used to control the flow of execution in a program. Common control statements in Python include if-else, for loops, while loops, and break continue statements. How do you write an if-else statement in Python? An if-else statement in Python is written using the following syntax. How do you define a function in Python? A function in Python is defined using the definite keyword. How do you pass arguments to a function in Python? You can pass arguments to a function by including them inside the parentheses when defining the function. How do you return a value from a function in Python? You can use the return keyword to return a value from a function. What is a set in Python? A set in Python is an unordered collection of unique elements. It is defined using curly braces up or the set constructor. What is a dictionary in Python? A dictionary in Python is an unordered collection of key-value pairs. It is defined using curly braces or the dict constructor. How do you access values in a dictionary in Python? You can access values in a dictionary by using the corresponding key. What is a tuple in Python? A tuple in Python is an ordered and immutable collection of elements. It is defined using parentheses or the tuple constructor. How do you swap the values of 2 variables in Python? You can swap the values of 2 variables using a temporary variable or simultaneous assignment. What is a lambda function in Python? A lambda function is an anonymous function defined using the lambda keyword. It is typically used for short, one-line functions. What is list comprehension in Python? List comprehension is a concise way to create lists in Python based on existing lists or other itables. It combines the creation of a new list with a loop and optional conditional statements. How do you filter elements in a list using list comprehension? You can filter elements in a list using list comprehension by adding a conditional statement. For example, to filter even numbers. Can you have multiple if conditions in list comprehension? Yes, you can have multiple if conditions in list comprehension by chaining them using the and or operators. How do you create a dictionary using list comprehension in Python? You can create a dictionary using list comprehension by specifying key-value pairs within curly braces. How do you create a scatter plot using Seaborn? You can create a scatter plot using Seaborn's scatterplot function, specifying the x and y variables from your dataset. What are some commonly used plots in Seaborn and Matplotlib? Some commonly used plots in Seaborn and Matplotlib include: line plot shows the trend of a variable over time. Scatter plot displays the relationship between two variables. Bar plot compares categories or groups using rectangular bars. Histogram visualizes the distribution of a continuous variable. Box plot represents the distribution of a variable and displays outliers. Heat map shows the correlation or relationship between variables using colors. Violin plot combines a box plot and a kernel density plot to represent the distribution of a variable. How do you create a box plot using Matplotlib? You can create a box plot using Matplotlib's boxplot function, providing the data and any additional parameters. How do you create a histogram using Seaborn? You can create a histogram using Seaborn's distplot function, specifying the variable and any additional parameters. What is scikit-learn and how is it used in machine learning? Scikit-learn is a popular machine learning library in Python that provides a wide range of algorithms and tools for various tasks such as classification, regression, clustering, dimensionality reduction, and model evaluation. It is widely used for building machine learning models and pipelines. How do you train a machine learning model using scikit-learn? To train a machine learning model using scikit-learn, you typically follow these steps. Preprocess and prepare your data. Choose a suitable algorithm. Split your data into training and testing sets. Fit the model to the training data using the fit method. Evaluate the model's performance using metrics and test data.